A very good day, everyone. My name is Shanlin Kaisang, and today I'll be presenting my business ethics and social responsibilities individual assignment. So before going to the moral issue, I'll be introducing two main characters. Individual X, who is the manager. She often badmouths her colleagues and superiors for their inefficiencies. And we also have Individual Y, who is our executive, who is inefficient at her job and prone to making costly mistakes, and she works under Manager X. So the moral issue at hand is Executive Y is bad at her job and is causing many issues for Manager X. And Manager X very openly tells Executive Y to find another job. So Executive Y leaves the company very unwillingly. However, she takes revenge by exposing all the private chats from Manager X. To give more context, Manager X has a WhatsApp group with Executive Y. So she often shares negative feelings, negative thoughts and opinions about other people in her office. So people badmouthed by Manager X are forwarded these private messages by Executive Y. So Manager X is as a result summoned to HR and is informed that she faces no repercussions. However, seeing that Manager X doesn't face any repercussions, Executive Y decides to forward said chats to the entire company, including the CEO. Now, Manager X wants to sue for defamation. However, she decides against it because Executive Y has left the company, has kids, and is now unemployed. The CEO informs Manager X that she is perfectly fine and faces no issues. Now, the vices for Manager X is that Manager X's bad actions of badmouthing her other colleagues for their inefficiencies and her openly telling of Executive Y to find a new job reveals a vice of honesty. So the vice identified is crude honesty. This involves prioritizing the truth to the point where the feelings and sensitivities of people are disregarded. This vice also involves being excessively blunt, hurtful, or insensitive in communication. This is shown through Manager X's badmouthing of her colleagues and her supervisors, and also, as I said before, her openly telling of Executive Y to find a new job. Next, vices for Executive Y. So Executive Y's actions of exposing private conversations from Manager X not once but twice to get her revenge could be perceived as spiteful. Her actions could be explained by her wanting to exact revenge on Manager X, but seeing her first attempt had no impact, she decided to try again. This shows a vice of indignation. The vice identified is spitefulness. This involves the malicious desire to harm others out of resentment. Now, to analyze, in the analysis part, for every virtue, Aristotelian value ethics proposes the existence of two extremities. In the case of Manager X, the virtue of honesty corresponds to the vices of insincerity and crude honesty. Through Manager X's badmouthing and open criticisms, Manager X exhibits characteristics of crude honesty, as shown in the graph below. Next, in the case of Executive Y, the virtue of indignation corresponds to the vices of envy and spitefulness. As seen through Executive Y's repeated attempts to harm Manager X, Executive Y exhibits characteristics of spitefulness. Manager X displays the virtue of benevolence, a balance between cruelty and self-sacrifice, which reflects their genuine care and kindness towards others. This virtue is clearly exemplified by Manager X's decision to not pursue a lawsuit against Executive Y. Manager X, despite her crude honesty, is still empathetic and considerate because of their understanding of Executive Y's personal circumstances, including having children and being unemployed. Now, moving on to the practical recommendations. Manager X should be confronted by her CEO regarding her crude honesty towards her colleagues, as it creates a hostile work environment. It is necessary to educate Manager X on the methods of balancing truthfulness with tact and consideration. As a result, Manager X needs to learn how to properly communicate without harming the feelings of others. From an Aristotelian perspective, Manager X can become a better person through avoiding crude honesty, avoiding deceptive and insincere behavior, but being honest in a compassionate and appropriate manner. Involving HR would be a viable option as they are in charge of handling people. Now, moving on to the second practical recommendation. On the other end, the CEO ought to uphold justice in the company through striving for fairness and equality in the company. It is necessary to reprimand Manager X considering her actions towards other employees in the company. Manager X did badmouth people, and that is considered unacceptable in corporate behavior. Although Manager X is highly capable at her job, it should not exempt her from the consequences of her actions. Doing so would indicate injustice in the workplace. To sum up, the CEO ought to practice fairness. In other words, uphold justice. That's all for me. Thank you so much.